Your Majesty. King Graham?
Yes, Minister,
Gervain, sire.
Of course. My apologies, Gervain.
Not necessary, Your Majesty. After all, I've been your security and defense minister for but a short while.
Yes. Where did you say you were from again?
Just some small, insignificant land to the far south. Pales greatly in comparison to your realm, my lord.
Do you have something to report?
As a matter of fact, my liege, there's a small concern regarding the duty shifts of some of the castle guards and of the countryside patrols. Also, we are expecting our armed entourage from our nearest neighbor to return within the week. And there is the matter of an alliance with... my liege?
My apologies again, Minister Gervain. Please, continue.
Yes. As I was saying, there is the matter of an alliance with Hesperia. They've become a strong nation now, and it may be prudent to show our willingness to support them, lest they decide we are more of a hindrance than a help.
Does the king there have any daughters who've come of age?
I do not believe so, sire. As for the security arrangements for the royal ball held last week, I do believe the evening went by very smoothly. I dare say just about every princess in this region attended, and not one lost slipper, to coin a phrase.
Please, do not remind me.
Indeed, they were none too fetching. Would you like me to go over your plans for today, my lord? Very well.
Oh, forgive me once again. I am afraid that my mind wanders much these days. I wonder if my predecessor experienced times like these.
No doubt. Though I did not know King Edward the Benevolent personally, I understand he was a happy and astute man during his married life, before his wife passed away, that is. If I may be so bold, perhaps my lord is feeling that certain rooms in his castle are somewhat sparsely filled. The throne room, for example, and other rooms that serve but a single soul, like your dining room and your bed chambers.
Perhaps, but I do fear I've met no such candidates that would fill the rooms you have mentioned.
You should not lose heart, Your Majesty. If you pause to reflect for but a moment, you may see clearly what is hidden to others.
You gaze into the mirror. The minister's words seem to echo in your head. If you pause to reflect for but a moment. Not that you've been doing much else lately. For many weeks now, you've been reflecting over the direction your life has taken. While Daventry has prospered under your wise leadership, so far your existence has been a dreadfully lonely one. Wait, the mirror is changing. As you watch, you begin to see a series of images, though you struggle to fathom their meaning. You recognize the landscape. It is Kalima, a land not far from Daventry. You see the most beautiful woman you have ever set eyes upon. Somehow you can feel her sadness and her intense desire to leave that place. She is a prisoner in that tower.
Did you find what you were looking for, sire?
I require my ship ready for transport, Gervain. I shall be going on a trip presently.
Indeed. Where shall I tell the captain you'll be heading?
To Kalima. I have to find someone.
I see. Well, if you must go, it is my duty to ensure that you leave prepared. Arm yourself, sire. I hear Kalima is not the safe haven it once was.
Of course. I shall take the sword of the first king, as is my right.
A wise precaution, sire. And, if I may be so brash to ask, who might you be seeking?
If all goes well, my bride.
Father!
Sister Agatha,
How may I be of service?
an opportunity has arisen, sister. I trust you still have your captive held securely away.
Of course.
A bit cruel keeping her locked away like that, do you not think?
No. How dare she flaunt her beauty in front of all to see? Her foolish male admirers see her and forget that I was the most beautiful of all in my day.
And in your own special way, you are still beautiful.
You devil!
That is not an unfair description.
Now, you mentioned a service, I believe.
Yes, the King of Daventry has advised his faithful minister that he shall be departing for Kalima presently. On a quest, you might say.
Really? What kind?
The kind that involves sticking his neck out to rescue a damsel in distress.
And what have I to do with his neck?
Put simply, my dear, sever it.
A day's journeying from Daventry has found you by the shores of Kalima. Your ship, the Grand Thethor, and its crew have deposited you and will return the day after tomorrow. Hopefully, this will give you enough time to locate and release the imprisoned woman you saw in the magic mirror. A net has been caught around one of the pier's pylons. You have no need to care. You cannot fathom what you might do with the sea. You could walk. You could walk. You could walk. You cannot fathom. You cannot You could. You could. You could. You can. You cannot. You could. A sturdy wooden pier stretches. You need to swim closer. You untangle the net from the pylon and take it with you. Not terribly fit, are you? Swimming for too long was a little too much. You need to... You untang... One of the trees here seems to be growing around some rocks. It would be fun to climb. It would be fun. One of the trees here. There is a sizable hole in. When you peer into the hole of the pine tree, you see a mallet lying there. You pick it up and take it with you.
Hey!
What? Who said that?
I did.
Huh?
I'm down here, in the hay.
Oh. Well, who are you?
My name is,
Yes?
I can't seem to remember.
Well then, what are you?
Oh, I'm
Yes?
Can't seem to remember that either.
Well, what are you doing in this haystack?
That's easy. I was looking for,
You can't remember.
no. Sorry.
How long have you been in there?
Let's see. It couldn't be longer than,
Yes?
3, maybe 4 weeks.
Weeks?
Yep.
Pardon me for saying, but you sound as if you have a bit of a cold.
Yes. It's all this hay. It's giving me hay fever.
You see a man bending over the fountain. He appears to be trying to retrieve.
Aha! Got him.
A tall statue of a man stands prominently at the entrance of town. It looks to have been placed here quite a number of years ago. The statue bears a plaque which reads, Count Kaldor, ruler and protector of Kalima.
Greetings, merchant.
Ah, to you, good day. Shh. A visitor arrived new, no? A sense I possess for these things. Need you have for my wares of great specialty?
Perhaps, but first, I'm curious. Where did you come by such a pumpkin?
Eyes quite keen, nephew. Indeed, a specimen unique it is.
Be quiet.
The gift of speech among plants so rare, yes?
Quite so. Are you planning to sell it?
Sell? Never would I sell such a thing as this.
It'll make me incredibly rich.
I mean, entrusted it was to my care. Watch over it, I must.
Mama! Take me back to my mama!
Forget it. I'm not taking you back to that patch. So pipe down.
Pardon?
Ah, of importance I speak not. Trouble to your ears I meant none.
May I help you?
Yes, I was hoping to enrich my knowledge of this fair land by way of perusing your historical texts.
My, that was well put.
No.
Not terribly effective, though.
Pardon me, perhaps I was not clear?
You were.
Then may I?
No.
This room can communicate.
Why can't I?
You are not a member.
Well then, can I become a member?
No.
Why can I not become a member?
We already have far too many members. It's difficult to keep track of everything.
How many members are there?
2.
If I may inquire, who are your 2 members?
You may not. Neither the Count of Kalima nor that elderly gentleman who lives next door would approve of my divulging that information to you.
Ah, thank you anyway. You mentioned the Count of Kalima is a member of this library.
Yes.
Have you seen him recently?
The librarian looks at you strangely.
No.
Is there any way I might meet the Count?
Yes.
How?
Die.
I would have to die to meet the Count?
Depends.
On what?
Your importance.
And if I am important?
Then you might be fortunate enough to be buried on his estate.
Who is buried on the Count's estate?
Counts.
Aha, past Counts, of course. Anyone else?
Yes.
Who?
Him.
Pardon? Do you mean the Count is dead?
The librarian decides to avoid your gaze and seems disinclined to speak further with you on the subject. There appears to be a sign on the door, but the door is plain and has a mail slot. It also has a sign posted on it. You read it. You also notice something sticking out from under the door. Brandishing your sword, Brandish. You're not close enough. Making sure that no one is watching, you slide your thin blade under the door and draw out what appears to be a letter. It is a letter addressed to the resident of the town. You open the letter and read it. Dear applicant, please find enclosed the library membership card to which you are now entitled. The 5-year application process has concluded, and we are pleased to inform you that your status as a member of the town library is confirmed. Welcome to an exclusive group of patrons. Yours sincerely, Town Librarian. P.S. Please sign your name on the card to ensure validation. Don't worry, the library... You're kidding, right? Not even Don't worry. It is not meant. You quickly grab the quill while the librarian isn't looking and sign your name on the blank library card. You replace the quill before the librarian notices it missing. It is not meant to be. The librarian seems to...
Will you accept this?
Yes, you are younger than I expected.
I eat well and get a lot of exercise.
I see.
So, what do I do now?
Borrow.
You mean I can take books from this library?
No.
Oh.
Yes?
Could you recommend a good book?
The librarian. This book is entitled Kalima, Perfect One Day, Better the Next. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt. It's a page of the library. You look for a nice, large pumpkin to take from the patch.
Hey, watch it!
Oh, sorry. I was not aware you could talk.
Likewise. Anyway, be careful where you're treading. You're spoiling the good soil by standing so close. And I got 8 kids to feed.
You glance at the smaller pumpkins. These must be her children.
Yeah, well, I had 8. Then some strange man who spoke even stranger came by. He claimed to be a horticle, claimed to know a bit about plants. I let him take a look at my little darlings. Anyway, before I knew it, he'd gone and pinched one of my babies. Took off towards the town, he did. Of all the naive. Just because we're plants doesn't mean we don't deserve any respect.
I am sure that is true. Pardon me for asking, but how did you come by the ability to talk?
With a question like that, I might ask you the same.
I was only...
I don't take it personal. That old witch Agatha cast a spell on me so I could guide her precious possessions.
Hagatha?
Yeah, she's the old bag who lives in that cave to the west. You know her type. Green warts, pointed ears, cannibalistic, doesn't put her trash out. Just your stereotypical evil old crown.
She sounds pleasant. You mentioned something about guarding Hagatha's precious possessions.
At least what she considers precious. I reckon they're anything but. Mind you, I have my doubts about Hagatha's legitimate ownership of this stuff, if you know what I mean.
What sorts of items does Hagatha wish you to guard?
Oh, the usual vanities. All useless in my opinion. But what would I know?
The palm tree a mouthful of the palm.
Hello, who are you?
My name is Graham. What is yours?
Possum. That is what my grandma calls me. She is not at all well these days. I was collecting flowers for her, but now I cannot anymore.
Why is that?
My basket is missing. I looked everywhere for it. It must be around here somewhere.
I will keep my eye out for it.
Thank you, Graham.
I was wondering, could you tell me anything about this land?
You mean Kalima? There is a town to the northeast, and a church not far south of that. Grandma and I live in a house near the beach. You should not enter the swamp to the north. It is said to be influenced by magic. Many have easily lost their way in there, and finding your way out again is difficult.
Thank you, Possum. Is there any way at all through this swamp?
I do not know, but I did see someone walking out of there not long ago. He was writing something in a book as he walked.
Who was that?
A monk from the church.
You mentioned that your grandma is not well. What ails her?
I'm not sure, but I think it gives her sad dreams. While she sleeps, sometimes she talks out loud. Sometimes I listen to her. No, do not leave me, she says. At first, I thought she was speaking to me. I would go over to her, but she would not notice me. Then I realized it was a dream. I think she misses the person she talks to in her sleep. And then there's the scary dreams.
You mentioned that your grandma had scary dreams. What are these dreams about?
Bats.
Bats?
Yes, in her sleep, she screams with fright, as if a bat is chasing her, or she's being hurt by one. Then she'll say something like, Blue light is the bat's true bane. Over and over.
Blue light? What does she mean?
I have asked her this, but she just shakes her head and will not speak of it.
Thank you, Possum. I wish your grandma a swift recovery.
Thank you, Gram. I will speak of you to her.
These plants have You like the plant. You like the plants. You reach out and pluck a large, juicy-looking lemon from the tree. You have come upon a quick little dwarf. Dwarves have a bad reputation for... Three gold coins. You have run into an evil enchanter. Get out of here fast before he turns you into... As you near the cave, the bat symbol above the entrance starts This is a dreary, very little light manages to You are standing at an unknown location, somewhere within a wide The spindly tips of these dead branches almost look like the claw. You reach out and pluck a... Removing any of the pickets would equate to some... Removing any of the pickets would equate to some... You open the mailbox. Inside there is, incredibly, a letter addressed to the resident. You decide to leave it in there. A card has been dropped in it also. You read it. You replace the card and close the mailbox. Oh no, you've been caught in a trap. Whoever said it will probably return soon.
Ah, marvelous. What a catch. I feel like a bit of target practice.
There are safer ways to trigger a trap, or didn't you notice it? You are traveling through Weirwood Forest. You peer behind the plant. You take the basket. You reach out and... You can't eat. You can't. You hand the basket to Possum.
Thank you, kind sir. Please take this flower. I I'm afraid it's all I have to give you.
It is more than enough. I notice that you have picked only yellow flowers.
Of course. Is it not customary for one to pick yellow flowers for another who is gravely ill?
Certainly it is. I'm sorry to hear about your grandma, Possum.
Thank you. Goodbye.
You get a feeling for the area. There are nothing but... You let the refreshingly clean water wash over your hands and splash some on your face for good measure. That woke you up. You look under the log and discover a clam lying beneath it. You pick it up. You open the clam and discover, to your surprise, a dazzling pearl. You open the mailbox. Inside there is, incredibly, a letter addressed to the resident. You decide to leave it in there. A card has been dropped in it also. You read it. You replace the card and close the mailbox. You attempt to open the door but find it is locked. You think you can hear the sound of labored breathing inside and decide against causing any further disturbance. You peer into the log, but see nothing of interest. You peer. You peer into the log, but see nothing of interest. You peer into the log, but see nothing of interest. You peer into the depths of the dark hole. As luck would have it, you discover a beautiful set of earrings hidden inside. Each one is laced with glittering diamonds and contains a lovely blue sapphire stone in the center. Perhaps someone stashed them here. At any rate, you take them into your possession. Brandishing your sword, as you pick up the gold coins, they suddenly turn dark. Now they resemble ordinary metal. Wait a minute. This isn't gold. It's fool's gold. The door appears to be barred from the inside. The church must not be open at this time. The fool's gold again shines the instant the coins leave your hand.
Three coins in the fountain.
What? Let me see.
Graham.
Thank you, Graham. Here, take this. Maybe this useless trinket of Haggadis will be of some use to you. Serves you right for not enabling me to protect my kids.
The pumpkin hands you a gold brooch with a beautiful blue sapphire.
Is there anything more I can do for you?
Me thirsty, Mama. Now that you mention it, my baby is feeling a bit poorly. After all, living in a bowl ain't too good for your health, you know.
No, I did not know that. What would make your baby feel better?
Fresh water, naturally.
Of course.
Not too sweet, though. In fact, the more bitter, the better. My children are very particular about what they drink.
I will see what I can do.
You fill the bowl with the fresh spring water. After using your sword to cut the lemon surface, you squeeze some of its juice into the bowl. Then you discard the lemon. You pour the bitter water over the baby pumpkin. It seems to like that.
Thank you again, Graham. Here, take this.
The pumpkin reaches into her head and pulls out a candle, which she then hands to you.
That thing has been jammed in my head for as long as I can remember. I know it ain't much, but maybe you'll find some use for it.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. Besides, it's really hard for me to sleep with that thing lit up inside my head all night. A word of warning. Hagatha has been talking about you. I heard her mention your name while she was muttering to herself. She does that when she's inspected her valuables. Anyway, I'd stay clear out of her way if I were you.
I appreciate the advice. Will Hagatha not be angered when she discovers you've given your candle away?
What's she gonna do? Turn me into a pumpkin?
Good point.
Besides, I could just blame the dwarf. He's earned himself a bad reputation from the day he moved here. Pity no one can catch him, not even Hagatha.
If I may ask...
Appreciate all you've done, Graham, but I want to spend some quality time with my children. Now be a good boy and run some other errand.
The small pond is a beautiful feature in this part of the forest. You imagine a variety of bird life would find this a very suitable place to travel for the breeding season. A beautiful, majestic white swan. What an adorable baby swan. The beautiful blue lake has a clear and the beautiful, it is a, it is a baby bird, and not a terribly pretty one at that. Don't throw that. Don't. The best place to attempt that would be from the lower. Don't throw. You walk into position and try to catch the baby bird. You throw the net over the pond, and the baby bird is caught unharmed. You release the little bird into the pond. It feels not an idea. Not it. You pick up the white feather and put it carefully away. You have just discovered the gravity of your situation. Incredible. The door you have discovered has taken on the appearance of a face. It is silent, however, and almost seems to be waiting for something.
Greetings. I am King Graham of Daventry. Would you by any chance know of the way to a strange island on which stands a quartz tower in which a beautiful woman is being held captive?
You feel more than a little foolish. Surely a door, even one with a face, would neither hear nor understand you.
I am the door of destiny. I am sought out by many, found by few, and opened by none so far. For indeed, only once can I be opened. Such is the magic that I am. Through me will you find the destiny you seek, if you cannot perform a task.
Anything!
You feel intense exuberance that you have come so close to your goal in such a short time.
You must bring me the gems of nature.
I beg your pardon?
The stone door rumbles from deep within. For a time, it says nothing. And then...
Gems of 3 I ask of thee to fetch, collect, and bring to me. In water shall you find the first, though not the type to quench your thirst. Spy the second, high in the sky. With wings or no, thou still must fly. Through swampy mire, so it is heard, in lone dark castle lies the third. Should you succeed, my noble king, to your fair maiden I will bring. I warn you though, you should beware, a danger cloaked awaits you there.
Without warning, the stony face falls silent. As you watch, it gradually smooths out to become the mountainside face once more. You notice that, within the door, 3 shallow indentations have sunk into the rock's surface. Presumably, the 3 gems of nature must fit here. Now all you have to do is find them. How did that poem go again? You're not close enough. You're not. The air. The paper is torn and dirty. It looks like a flyer of some sort. You smooth out the torn and tattered paper and read, "Curios I have, to the town do come, awaiting I am."
Greetings again, merchant.
Yes, many greetings. Need you have now for my wares of great specialty?
What wares do you sell, good merchant?
For yourself, behold them.
You look over the merchant's wares of great specialty and quickly reevaluate them as junk.
You seem to have quite a selection of, well, quite a selection.
A keen eye have you. In an item or two provoke interest, I might?
A daunting task. Rather, by all means.
This I have.
You appraise the object he holds up to you. It is a simple shell, intricately fashioned into the shape of a comb. The workmanship is unlike anything you have ever seen.
Fascinating. Where did you find such a thing?
Oh, old it is. From ancient times descends. Valuable, without question. Royal property, former, to be sure.
You consider his story. Then you begin wondering which beach he found it on. Talking to yourself. Repressing the urge to burst into...
If I were to, say, purchase the shell, what would it cost?
A trifle would you expend 7 golds.
I fear that I did not bring any money.
Curiosity, I find, in one who travels but with nothing to barter brings.
Good point. Repressing.
Might you trade the shell comb for something?
The merchant ponders over this for a moment.
Of value, many things are. Of fancy, only one I have.
And that is?
Pearls. From curiosity, Have you knowledge of the speaking pumpkin that once sat here? Misplaced it has become.
Speaking pumpkin? Oh, that. No, I do not see it anywhere. Sorry.
You can't use that there. It is a
Would you be interested in this pearl?
Indeed, I would. In return, the shell I present to you. May you be always groomed well.
The merchant grabs the pearl and tosses the shell comb to you. Then he saunters off. History will decide how greatly you were just swindled.
Oh, what a beauty. This will be worth a fortune back home.
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
There.
This book is entitled Way Below Your League, a look at sentient aquatic life. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt. A mermaid basks on a nearby rock. Her long flowing hair extends over most of her upper body. The green scales on her lower body sparkle as she basks in the sun. How is it that the rock... You say a few words to the mermaid. It quickly becomes apparent to you that she cannot understand your strange speech, let alone speak it. You hold out the shell comb in your hand. Clear recognition shines from the mermaid's delicate features. She hesitates a moment, then cautiously extends her arm, hands open expectantly. You gently place the shell comb in her palm. The mermaid examines it and smiles. She removes an opal necklace from around her neck and hands it to you. After a moment of admiring her once-lost possession, she looks at you with anticipation. You attempt to charade the act of going underwater to the mermaid. She regards you with a look of puzzlement. Just when the whole demonstration becomes too embarrassing to continue, she suddenly dives into the sea and swims right up to you. After giving you a rather intense kiss, the mermaid dives under the water again. You wonder where she has disappeared to. Then suddenly, you feel a pulling at your legs. The mermaid holds on to you, keeping you from resurfacing. You struggle instinctively while trying to hold your breath, but she will not let go. You know you are going to black out soon. Wait a minute, you're still breathing. How can this be? Could it have been the mermaid's kiss? Speaking of which, where has she gone to this time? Well, this is a new experience. The seahorse willingly allows you to climb upon its back. You slide into the little saddle and take up the reins in your hands. You just hope this creature knows where it is taking you. After a time of traveling through ever-deepening water, you arrive at a massive stone archway. Passing through it, you notice it is covered with many different intricate symbols, none of which you recognize. Mer writing, perhaps? As you emerge on the other side of the arch, a grand sight greets your eyes. You have entered an aquatic throne room. As one would expect, such a place has a throne of sorts, but what you see seated in it takes your breath away, if that still applies. It is unmistakably the ruler of the Mer people, the king of this watery world. Known by many names, Neptune is the one by which he is best known to your kind. Your words emerge as little more than a bubble. You bow before the king. He returns the gesture with a lowering of his own head. You open your mouth to speak, but only a bubble emerges. It begins floating up to the surface. You watch as your air bubble divides in two. Incredibly, each half maintains its semi-spherical shape. You take the half bubbles in your hands and position them respectively near your mouth and ear. A deep, elegant voice instantly booms from them.
You are welcome here, human.
Thank you. I am King Graham of Daventry.
Your courtesy depicts your stature. What is it you seek here?
You explain that you are seeking the 3 gems of nature, and that you believe one of them to be somewhere in this realm. You demonstrate the approximate size and shape of the gem, then mention the Door of Destiny and what you hope to find on the other side.
I do have that which you are seeking, and know of the Door of Destiny. It is very old. Its origin is known to but a few. What I possess was known to the ancients as the Birth Gem. In the realm of the Mer people, it is called the Water Gem, for without water, life cannot begin.
Might I have this gem, Your Majesty?
I shall let you have the gem, but first I must ask you to earn it by way of performing a service for me.
You are about to say anything, but then remember what you heard the last time you said that word to the stone door. Instead, you just nod and allow Neptune to continue.
My trident, the symbol of my power and the strength of my people, has been stolen.
A faint mumbling can be heard through the ear half of your bubble. This event is obviously of concern to those in attendance.
It is believed that one of our allies and neighbors have taken advantage of the Mer people's kindness, and that their own king now has possession of the trident. If you can reclaim it in the name of the Mer people, I will grant you ownership of the water gem. Will you do this, King Grim?
The murmuring has stopped. All are awaiting your response.
I would be honored to reclaim your trident, Your Majesty.
My sentries will escort you to the border between our two kingdoms. You may continue to use that steed to hasten your journey. It is my best. My sincerest hopes that you do not fall victim to the Sharkies.
As you prepare yourself for this new quest, a sudden pang of apprehension seizes you. Did the king just say Sharkies, as in sharks?
Your Majesty, is there anything you can tell me about the Sharkies?
They are large, fierce, and carnivorous.
Anything else?
They are always hungry.
Anything that might be of benefit?
Like something to help you live longer?
I do recall that they have poorer vision than we Mer people do, as they dwell in the darker waters.
So I might have a chance were I to encounter one.
You can always hope.
That was not inspiring.
Why was your trident stolen?
That is a matter of great concern to me. Should the Sharky King determine the trident's nature, he would assuredly bring about the deaths of countless Mer people.
I shall return as soon as I am able, Your Majesty.
Good luck.
As you depart the underwater kingdom, you see two guards waiting to escort you to the Sharky's realm. The sentries swiftly guide you along the bottom of the seabed, descending into much darker, colder water. After keeping pace with them for what seems like an eternity, you notice a forebodingly dark area looming closer and closer. You have arrived at the border of the Sharky's kingdom. This is as far as the sentries will take you. One of the guards salutes you. Then they both head back to the safety of their own waters. You're on your own from here, Graham. Those guards were sure in a big hurry to get out of here. You need to get... You need to get... You need... You need to get... You need... Examining the heavily waterlogged remnants of the vessel, you notice an old antique bottle, half buried in the sand. With great difficulty, you lean over in your saddle and manage to scoop it up. You remove the cloth from the bottle. western wall is but an illusion. You easily pass through it into a series of caves and tunnels on the other side. It's pitch black in here. You cannot see a thing. You'll need to find some sort of light source before you are able to proceed. It's pitch black in here. You cannot see a thing. You'll need to find some sort of light source before you are able to proceed. You need to get... There is nothing of interest. You can't reach the fit. There is nothing of interest lying on the seabed. You can, you need, there. There is nothing. You lean over and pick some of the grass, which grows in between the rocks. You stuff the sugary grass into the empty bottle and push it all the way to the bottom. Donk, donk. You place the baited bottle on the seabed, close to the luminescent fish. A few of the glowing fish are now swimming around inside the bottle. You take the bottle. A large opaque shell seemingly blocks a tunnel to the north. Whatever lies in that direction must be very important. You slide your blade through a small gap in the door and pull with all your might. It is difficult handling your weapon underwater, and you realize that combat will not be an option. So if it ever comes to that, you're in big trouble. As you open the door, ample light floods into the underwater cave, and you are now able to make your way around without the glowing fish. Oh no, the seahorse has followed you. Let's hope it doesn't give your presence away. You are safely concealed behind the remnants of a stone archway. This is fortunate, as the king of the Sharkies is also here. Aside from his menacing appearance, he also seems to be in a very bad mood.
I do not understand it. It should work for me. Is it not written that Trident's power can only be wielded by those of goodwill? Well, is it not?
The king's aides nod fervently.
And do I not possess the greatest will in this kingdom? No one can best me in battle. My resolve is unshakable. No amount of bleeding can dissuade me from slaughtering my enemies. Does this not signify that my will is the best there is?
The Sharky King's aides seem all too willing to agree.
Then why does it not work?
You watch carefully as the Sharky King taps 4 shells in order around the arch.
It matters not. Tomorrow we invade the Mer-People's territory.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode, and as usual, leave a comment down below, subscribe for more video updates, and share this on your Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and all other social medias. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date on my YouTube channel. And if you guys want to help me out in some shape or form, I do have a Patreon account down below in the description box. And as usual, thank you for watching everybody, and have a pleasant day. Bye bye.